What's your reporting on what did happen with Rodgers and the Jets that Rodgers gave a ton of answers to? And I don't know if the Jets are going to respond in any way, shape, or form. Maybe they will by talking to people like you on background, whatever you're willing to share. What did happen? Did that really happen where they gave him 20 seconds of time after having him fly all the way out to New Jersey to tell him what they could have told him over the phone?
What I was told at the time was that Aaron had indicated to them, hey, I'm going to be on that side of the country in this week. And they said, great, come into the building. And there had been ongoing dialogue up until that about, just a variety of different things because they don't, as Aaron said yesterday, Aaron Glenn and him really don't know each other. Aaron clearly, from his perspective, went in there thinking we're going to have a conversation about the future. The Jets very quickly informed him they were going another direction. He did not, and he affirmed that yesterday. He wasn't begging to stay or some of the things that have been reported. It was more so he thought, that the door was going to be open. I would say this, Rich. Part of what Rodgers pushed back at yesterday, and what he said Aaron Glenn said to him was, well, you're sitting in the back of the room and guys are looking at you when I'm talking. And Aaron is on a national TV show talking about a private conversation. That kind of is evidence of part of why the Jets just didn't think this was going to be a workable situation. They wanted to start fresh in this entire thing. You talk about what broke before, I think it was the 2021 draft, and that followed reporting by me and others earlier in the week that the 49ers had heard that Aaron Rodgers was not happy, and they called the Packers about whether or not Rodgers was available. And that's Kyle Shanahan and Matt LaFleur, two guys who know each other for a long time. And Matt basically told him, like, Kyle, get out of here, and hung up on him. Like, no, we're not going to do that. But there were a variety of different connections of why Kyle would have known that maybe Aaron was not thrilled there. The 49ers end up going and drafting Brock Purdy a couple of days later with the final pick, and that's worked out pretty well for them. Aaron ends up signing a new deal with the Packers. He comes back and he plays a couple more years. But really, Rich, from that moment forward, we have not seen a whole lot of MVP caliber Aaron Rodgers. His last year in Green Bay was not good. 2023 was a mess, 4 snaps in the Achilles. And then last year, there were flashes down the stretch. He was clearly getting healthier, but we haven't seen the guy playing at that level. And now, again, if you're the Steelers and you're one of the blue blood organizations in the league, and as Cam Hayward said recently, there's no sales pitch. You want to be a Steeler or you don't. To hear Aaron not even committing to the idea that if he plays, he would want to play in Pittsburgh, I would say there's going to be some very interesting conversations over the next several days here about everything regarding the quarterback position in Pittsburgh. Because, listen, this is what you sign up for if you have Aaron Rodgers in. And I don't know if he would do weekly appearances with Pat McAfee, if he'd be on there talking constantly, but there is an air of it's Aaron Rodgers and the rest of the team. And as much as Aaron, because he watched Brett Favre at the end of his career, and he never wanted to become that because Brett at that time, dressed in a side locker room. He went to the podium every Wednesday. He was older and he's at a different stage of his life, just like Rodgers is now. And Aaron always made the point of, I'm going to dress at my locker. I'm going to speak to reporters at my locker like everybody else. You get to a certain age, Rodgers said it himself, I'm in a different phase in my life. This is all going to be part of the deal. And as offseason workouts get set to go next week, I know they don't usually have super high attendance in Pittsburgh, but this is still a symbolic point, not to mention the fact that a few days later, they are potentially going to be on the clock at number 21 with multiple quarterbacks that they're interested in there. If Aaron Rodgers' goal at age 41 is to wash the taste of a couple of bad years out of his mouth and go and try to take one more shot at winning big, and then they were to take a quarterback, you would say that's something that may help the Steelers in years 26, 27, 28. But if the goal for Rodgers is to try to win a championship right now, anything that he does that would yield them not adding somebody who can help them win in 2025, you would think would be counterproductive to the ultimate goal, which right now, dear Rodgers tell it, is taking a back seat to things that he's thinking about and things he's dealing with in his personal life. And we'll see if and when football becomes part of that plan.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.